It's my favourite time of day. We are going to read a story. This story is called Slinky Malinky, and it is the linked storybook for this week. This story links these two books. This book that you read last week, The Dressing Up Box, and this book that you're going to read this week, Tab's Kitten. Your task, as ever, is to think of how is this story similar and different. What about this story links the two stories together? But this week, I'm not going to ask you any questions. Instead, you're going to choose the questions from this sheet that your grown-ups have been sent from the Fabulous Five. I want you to choose one question from each Fabulous Five member and work out how is this story linking the one you read last week and the one you're going to read this week. Slinky Malinky, here we go. Slinky Malinky was blacker than black, a stalking and lurking adventurous cat. He had bright yellow eyes, a warbling wail, and a kink at the end of his very long tail. He was cheeky and cheerful, friendly and fun. He'd chase after leaves and he'd roll in the sun. But at night he was wicked and fiendish and sly. Through moonlight and shadow he'd prowl and he'd pry. He crept along fences, he leaped over walls, he poked into corners and sneaked into halls. What was he up to at night, to be brief? Slinky Malinky turned into a thief. All over town, from basket and bowl, he pilfered and pillaged, he snitched and he stole. Slippers and sausages, biscuits, balloons, brushes and bandages, pencils and spoons. He pulled them, he dragged them, he heaved them until he'd carried them home to his house on the hill. One rascally night, between midnight and 4, Slinky Malinky stole more than before. Some pegs and a teddy bear dressed up in lace, a gardening glove from McCafferty's place, a tatty old sneaker, a smelly old sock, and Jennifer Turkington's pottery smock. A squishy banana, some glue and a pen, a cushion from Oliver Tulliver's den, a clock and some bottles, a pair of blue jeans, a half-knitted jersey, a packet of beans. He pulled them, he dragged them, he heaved them until he'd carried them home to his house on the hill. Then Slinky Malinky, rapscallion cat, piled them high in a heap on the mat. The glue toppled over and gummed up the pegs. The jersey unravelled and tangled his legs. He tripped on the bottles and slipped on the sock. He tipped over sideways and set off the clock. Crash went the bottles. Beep, beep went the clock. Roof, 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 roof went the dogs on the block. On went the lights. Bang went the door. And out came the family. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh no, they all said. What a criminal cat. Tomorrow we'll have to take everything back. With a tangled up middle and glue on his face, Slinky Malinky was deep in disgrace. Never again did he answer the call when moon shadows danced over garden and wall. When whispers of wickedness stirred in his head, he adjusted his whiskers and stayed home instead.